Coach, obviously, first time for you as a head coach heading to Omaha, first time obviously since you've been a player to be back there. Just how much have you had time just to reflect, to be back here in this moment, and just how special is this for you to be back here now as a head coach with this program?
Well, I think when the game ends, I've visualized turning over to Coach Dorman and giving him that big hug, and just kind of soaking it in after the game had completed. Obviously, like from the beginning of the year, from taking this job, it was never about getting to Omaha. It's about winning it, and on top of developing great young men, and really there's a million other things that this job entails that we have in our sights. But like watching the guys take a trip around the field and tip their cap to the fans because they were absolutely incredible. Looking at my wife and kids and my brother and my dad and just the entirety of our family in the stands, like being there for this moment, and seeing Case and getting to give him a big hug as well. Just my soul was filled with gratitude, and excitement for each of these guys, and that's like fruition of that feeling that we've always wanted for this place. With everything going on and people, I guess, feeling down in the dumps with the conference and everything, is like this is our great opportunity to provide joy. And when Trent Bray had stayed as our football coach, I said right there, I was like, I really want the opportunity to inspire and bring joy and show how much we love this place, and to have all these guys doing the exact same thing. They chose to stay and they chose to fight for this place and bring absolute joy. I mean, just walking around town the next day and seeing people, and just all you hear is "Go Beavs," and just how excited everyone is for this place, and hearing from friends and relatives and acquaintances from not only across the country but other countries about how they were tuning in and just in awe of how the guys went about their business. It's awesome that they get to shine in that light, and so being able to continue to be here, I mean, this is home. This is where it's always been, and then to see Case and to see John all the time, it brings back so many memories and has given us an opportunity to be the men that we are today, and you just want to pass that forward. So I think of it as I'm doing everything possible from my end. I know these guys are all doing it as well to serve this community and Oregon State and continue to be selfless. A huge pillar of ours, and that's what going about your work the right way does, is it brings so much joy to other people when it all comes together. And so, but obviously it's like focusing on that next step too, soaking it in that moment and getting as many hugs as possible, but also it's just a piece of the real plan.
Your team has them.
What do you remember about your first trip to Omaha as a player, and what stands out to you, and do you share any of that with the team as they prepare for their first trip to Omaha?
I shared a little bit about that experience just in 2005 going to Omaha. It was also something we talked about in 2004. When I got here in the fall of 2003, during our team meeting, I remember standing up and saying, like, let's go win the whole thing. If that's not our goal, like, what are we doing? And we just started talking more about it and how we were going to make it happen. And getting that opportunity to go to Omaha in 2005 was a huge breakthrough moment. Like the belief, like if you really believe and talk about and act on it and have everyone rowing at the same time in the same direction, those things are definitely achievable. The idea of limiting yourself is just so silly. And so at that time we had talked about going to Omaha, and then that was a quick trip. I mean, 2 really good games, but the environment, the newness to it all was a lot, especially for a young guy. And so just letting them know, like, that is our home. It's part, like, even though we haven't been there in a while, none of these guys have got to experience it as players. You go in there and you treat it just like we've done every single road game. You give it everything you have and you make it your home. Not to say you're not going to sit there and soak in some of the moment, the stadium, the crowd, the the gratitude for being there and hard work paying off, but at the same time, like, continued to focus. I mean, you want to be the last team standing and finish the season with a win, and everyone else doesn't get that opportunity. And so I think we're in a great place to do that. And just that one was a whirlwind. In for 2, and we're on our way home. Gosh dang it! But then it was even more motivation, and all those just hiccups that we've had throughout the year, I think, have geared us towards this moment, being able to go in and handle it. You know, I mean, you saw it the other day. It's the final home game of the year, and all the emotions that come with it. But down 2 runs in the first, and how we responded was from all of those other things that we had experienced throughout the entirety of the year. So I feel like we are as prepared as we possibly can be to go in there and do our job. And I, like everyone else in that clubhouse, believe.
Heading into this week, you guys have the most experience playing on the road, traveling. Kind of looking back at those games, what were some things you felt like the guys had to learn and get good at, and what role is that experience going to play as you travel on the road in the biggest, games of the season now?
Yeah, well, I mean, learning how to control the running game even better. I mean, Louisville runs. They have 150 plus bags. Those guys are going to get on the bags and they're going to run. And so knowing how to control that, knowing how to keep them off the bags is even better way to control the running game. And so there were games that maybe defensively we didn't get the job done. All it did was motivate us even more to focus on our defensive work. There are other times, cuts and relays that we weren't executing at high quality, and then we saw it here in the postseason with Reeder and Arquette and these guys playing catch really well, preventing runs even after they had scored one. So response to failure. I think every loss, every win that we've had, every bump has been something that we have gone back to the drawing board, made sure that we've strengthened those areas of our game, and even understanding like the not just the physical, the mental fatigue that can come with being on the road a lot. We were really good about checking in, really good about our rest, really good about how we ate, and continued to push in the weight room. And we have spark plugs that have huge motors that when other guys are maybe feeling down, they've motivated everyone to get back on top of their game. So again, if you pull out the schedule, I can go through probably each game and say, we learned this from this game, we learned this from this game. And even the wins, there were always things that we're chopping up videos, sending them out to the guys, and having those learning moments. And so as hard as it felt like every day you woke up and you had 10 new things to learn about. Not to mention all the other stuff that's going on, in collegiate athletics and whatever, all the noise that's out there. But it was exciting because there was no stop in the action, whether it was on the field or off the field. And some of our guys went through some difficult times, whether it's family or school or socially, and just gave us all an opportunity to wrap around those guys and lift them up. And just like if I had a bad day, these guys were really good about getting me in check and making sure that I was bringing a better version of myself each and every day. So it's inspiring. It's like it feels like you just haven't slept because you're constantly excited about the next day, and you get out of bed with so much energy and excitement for what today's going to bring, but never forgetting that you're grateful for whatever just happened and grateful for the moment that you got to get up, that God gave you this moment to go out and do something great. And I've seen so much of that from each and every one of those guys this year, our coaching staff, and man, just to play those home games. Again, I just go back, it brings chills just how loud and excited everyone was every pitch of the game, and they kept the belief. And I know our guys inspired that too because they showed it, and then the fans reciprocated that too. And it can be a tough place for other teams. The Goss got 'em vibe was real.
When the bottom of this lineup is firing on all cylinders and hitting, you guys look untouchable. What's it been like seeing those bats come along at the bottom half in these elimination games and down the stretch? Well,
doing it in different ways too. I mean, some guys are leaving the house, some guys are drawing walks, some guy we're laying down push and drag. The Tice Peterson, his legs are a little banged up. He's still going first to third, letting the adrenaline take over and do whatever it takes to be successful. So really at any point in time, when you get in the box, I like how aware our guys are right now. They're surveying the field, seeing what's available, and if there's an opening on the right side, they might push. They might try to work the ball the other way. Tice did that too. Drove a pitch that was away through the right side, kept the inning going. When there's a runner on the third, we're doing a really good job of staying short, not trying to do too much and use the big part of the field. So, it's a great feeling when you write the lineup. And again, when I go over there and I'm looking at some possible moves or visualizing what the next inning is going to look like, you feel very confident when you go, he's going to get on base, he's going to hit a double, he's going to walk, he's going to do this, and it just continues. So to be able to throw up 7 runs an inning and then 6 later on, it's almost like it puts so much pressure on the other team saying, Mal, you can't make a mistake, you have to be dialed in, otherwise big things can happen. And we learn that, ourselves too. We have to keep our foot on the gas pedal, otherwise the other team can start scoring runs. So we've learned how to succeed when we're ahead. We've learned how to succeed when we're behind. We've learned how to manage a million different situations with the guys that we have. And again, I think what our pitching and defense has done this year, coupled with our offense all getting together and clicking, that's when you want it to happen in the postseason, and that's what we've seen through regionals and super regionals.
Another guy, with Omaha experience is Zach Taylor. Just with the work that he does and the mental side of things and his experience, just how helpful is he in the work that he does right now, especially as pressure and the nerves ramp up at this time?
That was a great addition to the staff, and then some. His youth and being able to connect with guys, and recently going through that trip to Omaha, the energy he has is unmatched. And he comes in the office like every day, and he's running around giving everybody dabs and getting excited for it. And like one of the first things he says, he gets in hours before the game, why haven't we scored yet? And so he's constantly bringing the good energy, and how he takes care of the guys with our mental skills work, whether it's visualizations, meditations, or the phenomenal pump-up speeches that he gives. He's motivating for the players and keeps them in a good headspace, but also for the coaching staff. So his experience there, I think guys lean on a lot. As us as coaches have been there as players too. That was a long time ago. Some of these guys, weren't even born yet. So much different experience and a way to relate, but having that kind of experience, allows for us to go in there as well, with the right demeanor and calm, cool, and collective, as opposed to going in there and being wide-eyed ourselves. Again, it's not about getting there, it's about winning it all. And so the same emotions, the same way we've managed games and prepared before the games is going to just continue on through our time in Omaha.
Is there anything about Dax that surprises you at this point, just in the sense that freshmen aren't supposed to be able to mix 3-4 pitches like that?
No, I don't think anyone's surprised at what he's doing. He's tremendous. With his stuff, we can all see that. But I get more excited about base running when guys are doing the stuff that's not on the stat sheet. Primaries, secondaries, ball and dirt reads, those things they excite me because they are selfless and they are about the team. And what Dax does, when he doesn't have the ball in his hand, is even more exciting than what he does when the ball is in his hand and he's out there competing. Because he's an advocate for everyone else. When he's not pitching, he's throwing on the war paint and he's bringing great energy to the guys around him. He's encouraging. He wants to be pushed as a leader, and doing that just as a freshman says a lot about his character and where he's going to go in life. That's, again, one of my biggest things is knowing when these guys leave that they're going to be strong men and great family men, great members of their community. And you already see so much of that with him and Wilson Weber and so many other guys. That's what you really want. And then you can really easily trust the stuff that they're going to do on the field. And so it's everything for me is watching body language and how they go about their business. When we do our drill work, that's mistakes are going to happen. You're going to throw the ball the wrong base. You're going to not hit the guy in the chest or whatever. But how you respond to that says everything, and it tells me, the next play is going to be taken care of. So,
Thanks, Mitch. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right.